Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
How do I not remember that the batteries have to be turned off? I'm going to burn out these earphones.
You have to remember.
Is earphones the correct term?
Earphones are headphones, earphones.
Or is
those
it
are both.
earbuds?
No, it's all three work. Okay. Those are interchangeable terms.
Interchangeable terms.
Earphones, headphones, earbuds.
Right.
Yeah.
Or are buds only? Or are buds only when they stick when they go in?
Yeah.
Inside your ear.
Yeah, that's what it is, because they're like befriending your ear.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's an earbud.
Earbud.
Yeah, it's of our senses. We get earbuds, we get taste buds.
Taste buds.
So you have buds in your tongue.
Oh, because buds are like
Right.
they're
Right.
tiny, they're bumps.
Right, but you don't have nose buds?
No.
Or eye buds.
Or eye buds.
So I feel like those
You
two
have
senses.
eyeballs.
Yes, but you don't have the
Footballs.
just weird association from one to the next. Just oh yeah,
Eyeballs. Footballs. Tom Brady.
awesome.
Tom and Jerry. Jerry Garcia.
You're good at this. I feel like there's some kind of ability to be able to leap from one thing to the next.
Yeah, some people have the power to lift buildings or
You?
use eye laser vision.
Can link words
I can
together.
link words together in a series of
random thoughts. I love it.
Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Biofriendly Podcast.
Thank you. Welcome to you to the Biofriendly Podcast.
I'm your co-host, Jacob
And
Gibbons.
I am your other co-host, Noel Carroll.
Yes.
I'm realizing you weren't welcoming me. You were welcoming the audience. I'm sitting here taking
No,
your
I'm
welcome.
welcoming. No, I think in turn, when I welcome you, it is a welcome to the audience, because the audience should feel like they are you, they are me.
They are us.
They're us together.
We
That's very
are.
Beatles of me. I am here. Yeah, you're gonna notice that this episode is different because we're not doing video this time around.
No video.
So
We apologize. But look, Jacob here, our good friend Jacob, who does 98% of the work on the podcast. I just show up, sit down, say a
but
few
when
words.
you do show up, you show up. Well, I appreciate that.
I work on other
Yes, he does a lot of other
projects.
things.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's more
Podcast is one of my primary duties.
The marketing, the promo, the director of promotion and marketing.
That's
the
right.
D of P&M.
The D of P&M, as I am. Yes.
Yes. So Jacob does so much for the podcast, but he is actually every once in a while we have to let him go on vacation.
Yeah.
It's something I don't like to do.
Yeah.
Something I don't approve of.
Yeah.
I'm very against
I'm against it.
Jacob taking any personal time at all.
When I said I'd like to go on vacation, he went,
No! Get out back in the office and work. You record podcasts and you do marketing.
yeah, he wanted me to do a roving podcast where we, like Skype from the plane
Yes.
and then Skype from me arriving at my destination.
Oh, it's going to be great. You guys were going to love it. It was
were
going to be awesome.
But I am dropping the ball.
No, we got to, sometimes, in order to keep Jacob fresh and amazing, as he
Yes.
always is, we
Yes.
got to let him refill the tank.
Yeah.
So he's going to go with his family
Yeah.
on a wonderful vacation, aren't you?
I am. And it's
Yeah.
also good because, it's good that we're not filming this because I look less than fresh and amazing right now. But I think after the vacation, I'm going to look radiant.
You're pretty rough.
Yeah, I look horrible.
Pretty rough. He came in, he forgot to shower.
It would be awesome if we had behind the scenes photos of this without the video, and I look like I was in Castaway. Like I just look like.
Yes.
But yeah, we decided not to do the video for this one, and then I think so. This is episode 18. And then we have another one next week, and we're gonna do both of those without video, so that we can just give the fans that are listening to the show and count on it.
Yes,
they count on it.
Right.
It's like clockwork. They got to have their Biofriendly podcast, so we're gonna give it to them.
Don't get your Biofriendly podcast on Thursday. The whole week's ruined.
The whole week is ruined. So you're gonna still get it, and then once I'm back and fresh and looking purty, then we will pick back up on our video podcast. Additionally, so those of you who are enjoying that aspect, it will continue.
It's gonna come back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of work because we have two cameras and you got to go back and forth.
Yeah.
And then we have great, incredible reaction shots that cannot be missed.
Yeah, and I mean we Joe Rogan it, man.
We do, man.
We do. Like if you watch Joe Rogan's podcast, he's got him and the guest, and it cuts back and forth. Now they probably have a more of a budget than
a fleet
of a team that can help with that. But we like it. What I like about our video podcast is even though it took us a little while to figure out how to position us in the room or sync the audio or whatever it was. It took us a minute, but once we got it down, now when I watch it, I do love being able to see kind of the back and forth between us. So
it helps.
even if we move on from that format, I still think that it's something that I'd like to maintain in some capacity always.
Well, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But in the meantime, it takes you too much darn time to go on vacation and also cut the video.
2 podcasts.
And everything. And we didn't want, it was very important to Jacob that we didn't let the fans down.
That's right. It's true. It's true. I said, he came in my office and I said, but the fans.
The fans. And I said, Jacob, forget the fans.
Forget the fans.
They don't mean a thing. They're nothing.
Didn't you?
I didn't.
You
I love them.
The fans.
I love them.
Yes.
Yes.
All 4 of them.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, look, but they comment a lot. We have thousands of comments from 4 people.
Yes. And you know what I think is really cool is that I get to see a map of who's listening to the show. And it's really cool because I get to see all over the globe where we're being downloaded and listened to, and we've gone international, baby.
Let's shout out to the areas where they're listening so those folks can hear that we notice them.
Yeah, we have Australia.
Thank you, Australia.
We have England.
Thank you, England.
We have the Philippines.
Thank you, Philippines.
We have Singapore.
Thank you, Singapore.
We have Brazil.
Thank you, Brazil.
And many more. Those are the ones.
Thank you, many more.
Those are the ones that come to the top of my mind.
There's some guy in Holland right now who's like, oh, God.
What about me? I love your show.
I was about to be noticed. I just sounded kind of not like maybe Gandhi. I don't know.
He was close. It was Hollandaise.
It was
Hollandaise.
Hollandaise.
Like the
the
sauce.
only Dutch accent I can do is like, isn't that weird from Austin Powers?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to listen to some Dutch people.
Well, there's not a lot of films and television in the United States that feature characters with that accent that aren't cliche.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't have it well.
Do you know what?
What?
I blame America.
I blame America. You should. Come on, America. To borrow from your old phrase. Well, I think that this is a relevant topic for today, for the episode, because Jacob is going on vacation.
Yes,
we're going to talk about eco-travel.
Oh.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. So it was awesome because before we started recording today, I knew that was the subject I wanted to do. And like right when I go to several blogs, our own, of course, Biofriendly Planet. I mean, which is a wonderful, if you're not visiting Biofriendly Planet,
then Tara will kill you.
Yeah. Well, and you're missing out because first of all, we post incredible articles about what's going on in the world, environmental stories. And we're really a strong presence out there. And then also it always features our show, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a good way to keep up with like what we're doing. But I visit a lot of different sites, and right when I opened up Green Matters this morning, which is another very cool one, they had a site that said, they had an article that said, United Airlines flies Flight for the Planet, an eco-friendly flight with less emissions and low waste. Hey. So this was really, really cool. It says, following in the footsteps of several other airlines, United Airlines has just flown its first eco-friendly flight. United operated the Flight for the Planet on Wednesday, June 5th. So that was last week.
Yeah.
In honor of World Environment Day.
Nice.
And the airline shared more of the details about the milestone in a press release. So, I'm going to read a little bit just because it's cool information.
Okay.
But do you have any questions so far before I just keep blathering?
I want you to blather, and then every once in a while I might pop in and wake everybody up with a scream.
Yes, do it.
I
Just
might
occasional.
do dancing sound effects. Just to make sure they're still with us.
Just to make sure that they're not dozing off.
Maybe I'll probably ask questions as you go. I'll probably say, wait, what?
Again. So the flight took off at Chicago O'Hare International Airport and landed in Los Angeles. So came here from Chicago.
And isn't that where you're going?
I know.
This is crazy town.
Isn't that crazy? I am in LA and I am going to Chicago, and this is what the flight path was.
Sorry if your stalker now knows. I just realized. I just told your stalker where to find
you. Why did you do that? I've told you that person has been very specific about finding me.
He has.
And now they know that I'm going from LA to Chicago. This is going to really make this trip.
You're going to show up in Chicago, and Landry's going to be there.
All right, I'm going to Landry. Looks like we're going to do a video podcast after all because I'm going to, Landry will be upset if I don't. So it landed in Los Angeles, where United has an eco hub.
Wow.
Oh, that powers all of its flights out of LAX. I didn't even know that.
We have an eco hub?
We have an eco hub.
United in LAX?
Yep, with sustainable aviation biofuel. In the press release, United claims to be the first known airline to demonstrate all the following key actions on a single commercial flight. utilization of sustainable aviation biofuel, zero cabin waste efforts, carbon offsetting, and operational efficiencies. So that was their. This is just one plane, out of course, so many, but it's a step, a really cool step.
It's a start,
right? It's a beginning.
There's a few. There are things like that. There are things that these guys are starting to do. I mean, most of it is honestly financially. Motivated.
Yeah.
Right. Like in Southwest, you'll see that all of their planes have those little wingtips that kind of turn up. If you ever go into a Southwest plane, you'll notice that the wingtips at the very end go up.
Really?
Yes. They did testing, significant testing, and they realized that by doing that, they're saving 2% of the fuel they're using, which doesn't sound like much to you and me. But when you think about how much fuel a plane uses, and it's a lot, and you multiply that by every flight that Southwest takes, 2% is a significant dip in greenhouse gases, and not only that, they go in the stratosphere, which causes a ton more damage. It's a real problem when you're putting all that pollution in the stratosphere.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of awesome. Every time they come up with some way to be more efficient, it actually is a much bigger deal than people realize.
You are a wealth of information, Carol. You have some stuff in there. You got some stuff in your brain that just surprises me. It does. You know what I mean? Like the curving of the tips of the plane. That's something that I don't know if anybody knows that. I think you might be the only you in Southwest.
It's because it's a lie. My job here is just to sell people on Green Plus, which
biofuel,
which reduces your pollution by 8%, right?
Yeah,
so that's a big deal. So knowing what else people are doing and being kind of on the scene of what's happening,
so it's a big part
otherwise to cut down. And every time you use less fuel, you produce that percentage less pollution. So it's actually a good thing when they try to be more efficient.
It's amazing. So this is a step in the right direction, I think. And it's interesting because as I was learning about this, I know that some companies. While I've been reading more and more, I heard a term today, which I had never heard before, which is, how when in Hollywood they call something whitewashing, whatever. So apparently there's greenwashing. Have you heard about this? Which is...
I have not. What is greenwashing?
Greenwashing is when a company is using green aspects just to make a buck. So they're not really... They're throwing things in terms, and they're just trying to fool you into. There was a little.
So their purpose isn't actually to help the environment.
Right.
It's to catch the wave.
It's to catch the wave. Exactly. And so it's interesting because right now, that's what you've got to be mindful of is that there's going to be people that when there was some criticism on for Pride Month and whatnot that just happened where these big corporations would do the Pride flag. For Pride, Happy Pride. And then employees would come out and be like, hey, I work here, and this is not a good environment for, at all. You guys are not a Pride, you guys
are terrible to us.
You're terrible. And so that was an example of Pride washing or, gay washing or whatever, where they just want to get the thumbs up and the society's approval for being on board.
But they don't actually care.
They don't actually care. And so, but this is what we're seeing United is that I think that those are really, really strong efforts to be here's a specific plane. This is what we're trying to do. And so I'm hoping that other airlines will take it as seriously as they did and not just go and throw a couple fancy terms and then get away with it. You know?
Right. Yeah. Well, do you ever wonder if that monster on the wing of the plane in William Shatner's Twilight Zone episode was actually like a mechanic from the future who was just trying to make the plane greener?
That is something I had never considered, but that changes the entire dynamic of that. Right. And because he looked kind of monstrous, that might have just been the futuristic spacesuit.
People evolved maybe. Or they evolved in order to deal with all of the climate change, right?
You're right.
Because it's either freezing in the poles where they are or it's so Bernie that they need protection. So that's just how maybe, or it's a spacesuit.
No, I like the idea that we've evolved to even the world's most brilliant aeronautics scientist who could travel back in time and fix that plane look like a Sasquatch, look like a beast.
That guy on that wing was a Nobel Prize winning scientist.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. I am honored to take this time machine back in time and fix William Shatner's plane.
Exactly. That would be amazing.
See, and then that changes William Shatner's point of view on the whole thing too, because you think that he's the guy who's suffering, but actually no. Now that we know, because we had us visit from the future and tell us that that's a guy. who's a Nobel Prize winning green scientist, that William Shatner was actually the bad guy. He was the enemy. He was trying to stop that guy from fixing the plane.
In true Twilight Zone fashion, it's just not what you thought it was. Like literally 50 years later.
It was so deep.
So deep.
But you couldn't get it until 2041.
It's amazing. It's amazing. By the way, if the audience has never gone back and watching the original, I know Jordan Peele is doing a new Twilight Zone, which
I'm excited for that.
I have not. Have they released any of them yet, or I don't know? They haven't yet. I'm very excited to see that.
Yeah.
And but I used to love some of the old classic Twilight Zones. If you've never gone back, I'm sure you can stream them or watch them somewhere. But some of them they still hold up. They're still eerie.
Well, because they're like at their core, they're simple, right? I mean, it's like
they were very simple.
The idea is that the writing gets you, that the concept messes with your mind, not the production value or anything else.
Yeah, it's the story. Yeah. Well, so again, if you're traveling on a plane, you could be in the Twilight Zone, and there could be a futuristic ape scientist trying to fix the wing. That's what we're getting at.
What we're trying to tell you is if you see an ape on your wing messing with the plane, don't worry. Stop freaking out.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Will you relax?
Just chill out.
Will you relax already?
The guy's trying to help you out.
The
guy's a doctor.
He's trying to do his job.
PhD.
Just out here on the wing of a plane trying to do my job. People are trying to blow me off with missiles. It's terrible.
I feel like my voice that I'm doing is like close to, like, am I Cookie Monster? I feel like I'm a little Cookie.
You're a Cookie Monster with a Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize. Yeah. Well, so the Southwest flight was amazing, but that opened up a whole other, the topic alone of just eco travel.
Okay.
So like if you go out there and you type in, eco tourism or eco travel, on the interwebs, you'll find tons of lists of ways to like, hey, it's already a well-known fact that the plane is problematic in terms of like the carbon emissions.
Right.
But as we can see, United's working towards fixing that problem and hopefully we can help that problem with other airlines with what we do.
We're actually doing right now some aviation testing in Brazil and actually doing even work with the United States government.
That is
to
pretty awesome.
Start looking into with the Department of Energy and defense into grants and
let's
figuring
get
out
in there
because it's a bit of a process to get yourself into airplanes.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a huge safety issue.
Of course.
You want to make sure that it works on the ground first, and then it's okay in the air because you never know what it's going to be like up there. So they've got these really kind of crazy, fancy labs where they can, through chemicals, they can actually simulate what the conditions are like 40,000 feet in the air. Yeah, and so you test it there first, and if you get that to work, then you can move on to the next step, which is where they put it just in one engine in a flight, like in a plane that's a test jet, right? That's got awesome pilots who with nobody else in it, and it's and it's very expensive and time consuming. But
it takes a minute.
Because you want to be sure it's safe. You want to make sure there's something that there's no chance that anything you didn't think of could have an effect to that is dangerous for the plane.
You're taking humans, you're putting them in the air, and you're like, hey, trust us.
Yeah, trust us, man. It lowers your emissions.
In order to do in order to do that, you got to make sure everything's all good. But
so we're gonna go through that process. It'll take a couple of years, honestly, but that's okay.
But we're working on it.
Yeah,
we're working on it. So outside of planes, so of course, if you can road trip with your family, like some of the tips on there were like, look, if you're going to a destination and it's somewhat drivable, and there's 4 or 5 of you, get in the car and drive there because it's way more efficient to do that than to take a plane. But it did say if you're an individual, the idea of getting on a plane that is a fully maximized, like a lot of people, that's actually more efficient. So it's interesting. It's like if you could take your family or a group of people and you could go on a road trip, that's a good idea. But if a bunch of individuals all take a plane, that's a better idea. So
right, because that's interesting. Because you're essentially it's a massive carpool.
It's a
300-person carpool.
Massive carpool in the sky.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, there's so many great tips out there that I found, and one of them is just basically like when you're packing, what to prepare, when you get to the environment that you're in, where you're visiting, things to keep in mind.
Okay.
And so I wanted to throw a few of these out. One is think about plastic bags, like where you're putting stuff in your suitcase.
Yeah.
So like if you can wrap things that are reusable bags, like not the disposable sandwich bags. And so when you're packing, keep that in mind if you're putting stuff in your suitcase. And then also when you go and visit wherever you are and you go shopping, don't take plastic bags to go get stuff at the market. Don't take plastic bags. Like, try to always be using reusable bags. Don't be bringing more in plastic somewhere to go do something, and don't be taking some back with you. So don't bag it.
So now I know what my wife's going to say when she hears this podcast.
She's not going to be happy.
She's going to say, okay, so you're telling me to not use plastic bags.
Yeah.
So I have to find a way to protect all of my clothes from a potential leak in a shampoo bottle, or a potential leak without plastic.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So
we got to solve this.
So the solve is if there is a garment bag or reusable plastic bag, something that you would use over and over and over again. But if it was a one-time use, problem.
Then you lose.
But if we're talking like you guys go on 10 trips and we're using the same plastic bag every single time, totally fine.
Okay.
Got it?
So here's the deal then.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, from here on out, if you've got a Ziploc baggie that's keeping your
toiletries,
your little toiletries out from everything else,
use it again.
Totally good.
Yeah.
Totally good. But we're going to call out a 10-time minimum use.
Yeah. Got to use it 10 times, all right?
10 times.
That's it.
All right. 10 times, and then you're good.
And then you're good.
Then we're happy.
And then find a good way of getting rid of it.
Yeah. We got to fix that. That's a mess.
Can somebody listening please fix that? Or we will.
No, we're going to work on it. We're going to fix it. We're going to make a recycling machine that can do something with that.
All right.
Turn it into an airplane.
Next, and this is specific. Turn it into an airplane.
We're going to take all of your Ziploc bags.
And we're going to turn it into a plane.
Recycle them into a useful plastic shell, which we're going to make into an airplane.
That was the plan all along.
Says the scientist from the future.
Yes, they have finally discovered the Ziploc plane.
Says Dr. Gork.
Dr. Gork. I love Dr. Gork. So next up is pack light. And I'm talking to you, Carol. No more packing bowling balls in your plane, in your suitcase, okay?
Why can't I go bowling when I travel? I don't understand.
have to stop
the passion that I feel, deep passion for
stop.
Bowling.
I know. Bill and Ted mentioned in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill and Ted, not Bill and Ted, us in the future.
That wasn't Bill and Ted. That was us. It was us from the future.
We mentioned that in the future.
But Bill and Ted did send us.
Bill and Ted sent us, and they mentioned that bowling is going to go away, and I know you're sad about that.
You heard how sad I was.
Yeah. But
I was devastated.
But so pack light. No more bowling balls.
All right. Okay. Can I?
You can pack light. This is what we're talking about.
I guess you're saying is I have to start using the bowling ball, like the stupid, lame,
right.
Bowling balls that sit there on the shelf at the bowling alley.
Yes, you can't bring the custom ball that says Noel on the side and says
which
like
is flames.
Flames. I love your ball.
Yeah,
it's great.
I have the best bowling ball.
Yep. So
I was gonna say ball, and then I was worried. Is that too?
Are we crossing? Are we crossing a line? I mean, we're always kind of dancing near the line, and I think that's okay.
That's a wonderful image. It's just you and I, just down this, just
tap like the Peanuts gang.
Ginger Rogers. I'll be Ginger Rogers.
Oh, okay. I went for Peanuts gang. You went for Astaire and Ginger Rogers. I was thinking of how they danced during the Christmas special, and you're thinking like we got a tux. Am I in a gown? Did you just put me in?
No, I'm Ginger Rogers.
Oh, okay.
I get to be Ginger Rogers. Stop trying to take Ginger Rogers from me.
I'll let you be Ginger Rogers.
I get to be Ginger Rogers.
You make a great Ginger Rogers.
I would be a great Ginger Rogers. I just realized that you're totally right, though. There's no way that you and I are ever going to learn the Ginger Rogers Fred Astaire stuff.
No, so let's go Peanuts.
We'll go Peanuts.
Because then you can do the da 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 da, and we'll do that near the line.
Yes.
Near the line.
Right on the line.
Right on the line.
But not over.
No.
Okay.
But
where were we?
Packing light. But packing light just means about flying. Like if you're doing a car trip, whatever. But like this is if you're on a plane, every pound counts basically.
Right.
Every pound counts on that flight. Right. So the more you can lower the constraints in the plane, the more efficiently you can fly. So
right.
That kind of
and
stuff.
Because there's so many people. Here's a concept that we keep trying to push through that I hope that everybody can really embrace for us. Is that when you do something that feels like it's not much.
Yeah.
You got to remember that it isn't about you. It is about the fact that if you get an idea, if you start embracing the concept of I'm going to do a little bit less, I'm going to cause less of a problem by just a small amount.
Yeah.
And then you talk a little bit about that and you tell people, "Hey, check out the Biofriendly podcast" as an example so that they can kind of get the concept. Then you start to get enough people that little amount starts to add up. Like on an airplane, this is the perfect example. You would think if I put a bowling ball in a car, it doesn't matter, but when I put it on a plane, it matters. Well, so here's how it breaks down.
Break it down for me. I can't wait to hear this.
You bringing your bowling ball in your car, that adds the weight of one bowling ball, right?
Right.
10 to 25 pounds, depending on how massively amazing your arms are.
I bowl with a 50.
You bowl with a 50, except for Jacob, who bowls with a 50.
I bowl with a 50-pound bowling ball.
Yeah. So, look, okay, so maybe let's say to 40. Let's say that
I'm just kidding.
There are yoked, amazing dudes.
To your point.
To my point, 40 pounds in one car is not as problematic for you bringing your one bowling ball.
Right.
Now, 300 people on a flight from LA to New York.
Right.
If everybody removes one bowling ball worth of weight from that plane, that's not one bowling ball anymore.
Right,
That's
right.
now 40.
Yeah.
We just took the high number, 40 times 300.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's
that many
significant.
pounds get removed.
Yeah.
So it's about getting the mindset, and that's really what this podcast is about. And this is like a perfect kind of concise example of that. That mindset makes a big difference.
Absolutely. That's brilliant. Thanks for breaking that down.
That's what I'm here for, baby.
That's what you're here for.
You're so smart.
Thanks, Dr.
Grok.
Gork.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Dr. Grok is his wife.
His wife.
Dr. Grok and Gork.
Man, things really change in the future.
Yeah.
Well, this is another one that I like, which is when you travel somewhere and you go somewhere, enjoy a beer locally.
Locally? Okay, now break this down for
Well,
me.
it just basically says like if you drink a locally brewed beer, and not only will you probably enjoy a high quality ale, but your drink can be a low carbon by cutting down on beer mileage. This applies to eating local produce too. So let your taste buds be adventurous. It's carbon friendly. So you're basically, if you're supporting their local business, their produce, their beer, whatever they're making there,
right,
you're lessening the need to like export, import, get things traveling back and forth. You're supporting the local culture and the industry there, and that's just lessening the industry of needing to get things shipped all around the world.
The shipping industry.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're basically saying is
no more
destroy trade and collapse. Collapse. The shipping. No, I'm kidding. Look, obviously the trade is going to be fine.
It's still going to exist.
There are things that can only be produced in certain areas, and we'll keep shipping them back and forth and sharing them. And obviously, people are going to keep having to drive their goods yard to yard and stuff. But
I'm just saying,
to your point,
go to the Philippines, have the Filipino beer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Go to Singapore, have the Singaporean beer.
Right. Because if you go to Singapore and have a Bud Light,
I'll kill you.
Jacob will kill you.
I'll kill you. First of all, if you're drinking Bud Light, cool it. Man, cool it.
Yeah,
you gotta try something that's not just water, okay? For reals. This podcast is not sponsored by Bud Light.
I was gonna do the same exact joke.
We spend so much time together. I swear.
We just alienated the people of Missouri.
I'm sorry. No, you know what? If you like, hey, if you like Bud Light, enjoy your Bud Light. Just drink it.
I'm gonna do a quick commercial to make up for the American lager.
Okay.
This is for the American lager.
Go for it. Okay.
Have you ever had a hot, long day mowing the lawn, cleaning the gutters, fixing your roof? Yeah, run through it and feel like you're losing your mind because you're so hot and so tired. What's the best way to get out of that situation when it's all said and done? Why don't you crack open a cold Bud Light? Anyways, that's
really
it's the best
nice.
I could do. I've done better work.
Yeah.
But my idea, my concept for that is like that there's the American lager is often maligned because it's so mass produced and it's so overpopular and everybody's had so much of it. And usually that's the first thing you have because that's what's in the fridge because it's cheap enough.
Yeah.
When you steal from your parents and you have a beer, don't do that, kids. That's bad for
it's bad. Don't
something.
do it.
Yeah. So people get very like, ugh, I don't want that garbage or whatever. But there is a place for it, and it actually became popular because there is flavor there. It's just that they're putting together a much milder.
Yes.
A much more, a much lighter, fresher, refreshing kind of flavor, as opposed to more exotic, flavors that try different things and are more experimental and are trying to give a different kind of taste and flair. Yeah. So, don't feel bad if you like Bud Light.
No, I agree.
Or Coors.
I agree.
Or Miller. Those are perfectly fine beers.
I tend to be a kind of a beer snob just because I like the powerful, potent stuff. Right. And that's the only reason. By the
way, why not? If you're going to Singapore, like that. The point is they have to ship Bud Light all the way from St. Louis, Missouri,
down to Singapore.
Drink the beer
there.
That wastes a lot of fuel.
And you can get Bud Light back at home.
Drink it here.
Drink it here.
After you've mowed the lawn and cleaned the gutters and fixed the roof and had a hot day outside, drink that
Done
Bud
your
Light right
patriotic
here.
duty.
Yes.
You know, most of your knowledge probably comes from like actually learning in the right place. I actually learned once, and I don't know if this is correct or not because I learned it from a total barfly in a bar, and that's where most of my knowledge comes from. Is I talked to this guy one time, and he was like, he told me that the reason why Budweiser and all these beers was basically up until a certain point in time, beer was only being consumed by men. It was like a men predominant drink just because like the flavor just was not drinkable or enjoyable by the majority of women.
Right.
Like that was just the thing at the time. I'm not saying that to be sexist.
Sure.
I'm saying that in that era, it was like the taste of it just didn't work. And somebody realized that if you started brewing beer with rice and you change the ingredients over to rice, it would make it much more smooth and easy to drink and much more kind of hydrating feeling and like a refreshing drink.
Refreshing as
and
opposed
that's
to...
what changed everything in the United States with the Budweiser and the Miller and whatnot as they realized we're literally alienating 50% of the population because we're making it in this way, but if we make it like this, then everybody can enjoy it.
Right.
And so I learned that from a drunk in a bar.
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah. So
And by the
sometimes
way-
you get wisdom in bars.
Absolutely. You know what? I think sometimes you get a lot of wisdom
You
in
do.
bars
I have
because-
learned some cool stuff in bars from people, for
because
sure.
People get so chatty, and you never and everybody has their own little block of knowledge.
Yeah.
And you get so much when you sit down at a dive bar and just listen to a drunk babble.
Oh, if you're
so interesting.
if you're in a safe place where I'm not recommending anybody to go in a place that's like dangerous, but if you're in like a nice local dive bar, look for the guy who's got like the ratty coat that's sitting at the bar and he's been there clearly for hours.
Everybody
and
knows him.
Try to have a conversation because I guarantee you will leave wiser.
Yeah.
You will leave with a piece of information that you're like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of my greatest nuggets in life have been from
that guy.
From that guy.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just be patient because you're also going to get a lot of garbage.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you definitely should have a drink or four while you're listening because it's going to be a while. It's going to be a minute.
Yes.
But anyway.
But to the point, like the thing that's great about what you just said is you got to think about that now when you're looking at beers, right? Mm-hmm. So it is okay for you to enjoy a really hoppy IPA, and to go somewhere or to try a brown ale when you're in England, or to experiment, try other things because there are other flavors. Those flavors existed. Those were actually around in a lot of cases, not a lot of cases, in almost every case longer.
Yeah.
They're just kind of coming back and becoming more popular again.
Yeah.
And that also there's nothing wrong with enjoying your bud because
Totally.
that was created to refresh you and so that more people could just kind of enjoy it. And that's how those became so popular.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So again, we should do an episode on beer, I think. We should do an episode on beer. I mean, this one has a nice little sidebar to it, but we should do an episode on that because that's a fascinating topic.
Yeah.
But but
also that you said it applies to local produce, local food, local everything else, right?
Yes, everything local, supporting where you're visiting.
Right.
And so this is, again, if you're buying food at the local market while you're on vacation, it's helpful.
Right.
It lowers, instead of bringing a bunch of stuff with you, first of all, that lowers the weight of your travel bags and whatnot.
Right.
So
and you expand your mind, man.
You do, man.
Because you're trying things that are from somewhere else.
Yeah. And then it says another tip is, avoid bottled water. And so this is going to be a tricky one because I know that some countries don't have their water cleanly processes down, and there's be some risk behind that. Because I remember when I was a kid, I was in some parts of Mexico and whatnot, and people were like, "Well, you definitely don't want to drink the water because you could get sick from it." But I know that over time, different countries and places are working to improve that.
Yeah, Mexico actually
It's clean now.
has improved that significantly.
Yeah.
If you're in a hotel
Yeah.
in Mexico, that hotel itself actually has filtration system to make their water.
Yeah, this was when I was really young, so this was a long time ago.
No,
when
I'm not saying that you should go to
and
the
drink
rest of
in the
to,
stream.
Like, don't go to the cantina that you're going to and just say, just give me a glass of beer, because you don't know, because it's still the water that's produced in the country is not at the same filtration level as we're getting through our basic water here. Yeah. But if you're in an established place, most restaurants, good restaurants and hotels, you're probably going to be fine.
Yeah. So that was another one. And then if you're going to be doing activities in your vacation, be mindful of touristy events that are destructive to the environment. You know what I mean? So like, hikes are good if you're staying on trails, or exploring is good if you're going places that are, have been cleared for you to be in. But if you're going on and looking for somebody,
tiger hunt.
Yeah, tiger hunt or machete trail through something that is not sanctioned, or doing something like going in an area that you really aren't supposed to be. You got to be mindful of, if you're visiting a foreign country, another city.
Drug lords.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of drug lords.
You could be shot and
Yes,
killed by...
and so you need to be sticking to the things that are approved and regulated and safe. If there's a guy with a bungee cord off of a cliff and he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, don't do it.
Don't do that bungee cord.
Don't do that bungee cord. Definitely do not. Yeah.
That's not good for the environment.
It's not good for the environment.
We don't care about you.
Or you. Yeah, but no, I mean, if he's tying something to some, 1,000-year-old oak tree.
I got this picture of just like this guy who's putting a noose around a twig.
He's just like,
and he's got a bungee cord. Hey, you want to do this?
Yeah, exactly. So it's again, it's just about being mindful of your location and being respectful and looking for the ways that you can, partake in people's countries and not destroy them.
Good.
You know what I mean? That's the key.
Yeah, that's great. No, that's wonderful. That's so true.
I mean, that's pretty much it. That's like the kind of the overall, there's tons of tips. If you go out there and you put eco travel, eco tourism, any of that stuff, there's a million sites. There's a million different ways that you can learn about, how you can, this summer when you're going on vacation with your family, like I am, I'm going to be making some adjustments and thinking about what changes I can make.
Yeah. So, all right. So when we go to Canada, and we're up there vacationing, we're going to have Molson.
That's it.
And
that's it. And we're going to only go on sanctioned hockey tours.
Hockey tours. Right. We're only yes, exactly.
Right.
We're not going to just go to some random pond
No.
that could not be safe.
No.
You could fall right through.
You could be hurting,
damage to local fish.
Exactly. The wildlife.
Yeah, the local bears. And we're not going to go bear hunting.
Although Canadian bears are super nice.
Yeah, they're so great, aren't they?
So friendly.
Yes, especially
hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, bet you never made a polar bear before, huh? Hey, honey, come on over here. This is my wife.
This is my wife.
So we're just out here, just trying to kill a couple of otters.
Yeah,
There's no otters. What am I talking about?
I don't know. Canada seems so far away.
It does. It's just above us.
It's just above us, and yet so far away.
So far away. But so we're gonna go. We're gonna drink local beer. We're gonna eat local delicacies.
Yeah, and we're gonna support the local environment by doing things that are safe and good for nature and the world.
Yes.
And then we're gonna pack reusable things.
Yes, we are, and that will be the 6th time we will have used our plastic bags that we're holding onto our toiletries.
That's the plan.
Yeah, or we will have bought like a specific toiletry.
Yeah.
A case
made out of
Mylar,
hemp,
Kevlar,
hemp, something that's good for the environment.
Yes.
But anyway, just all good things to take it. So at the end of the day, because we're nearing the end, we would encourage you that if you're going to go on a summer trip, just look up some of these tips. Look up some things you can do, glean what you can from this, and remember that if you see a man on the wing of your plane, he's just
That's a doctor.
It's a doctor from the future.
A PhD from the future.
And he's just trying to fix the plane.
Just let me do my job. Just let me do my job. I'm a doctor.
So anyway,
I'm also a female.
Yes.
How awful of you to assume my gender.
This has been...
there's still problems in the future.
There are still problems. Yeah. Hey, a future us has said it took a minute to solve some of those things.
Which reminds me, we were told by the future us's that we're supposed to ask you to tell your friends about the Biofriendly podcast.
Please. You guys have been awesome. We love the support. We love the retweets, the likes, the shares, and everything.
The reviews are so helpful.
Yeah, just
on the iTunes.
Keep it going. Yeah, keep telling friends about it, sharing it, retweeting it, posting it on your socials and all that stuff, and tell friends to subscribe. We could use you all. Yeah, because it's the funnest way to learn about how you can help the environment. Exactly. Without being jerked around. Exactly. And we're fun. I am. Well said. We're both fun. Yeah. You're the funnest. Oh, no. No, you are. No. You are. No. Yes. Fine. This has been the Biofriendly Podcast. I've been your co-host, Jacob. And I'm Noel. And this has been your beacon of light in a gloomy environment. Sound years ahead of the competition. No, it's saving the world.
Saving the world eventually.
Exactly. And we learned from the future that plant makes you fart. Every plant makes you fart.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
We're going to have to work up to that one, I think.
Yeah. And then we're tantamount.
Tantamount.
We are tantamount.
And then there was another one, which was got to lay some concrete, got to lay some foundation or something. Something like that. When I was listening back to the last one, I was like, we forgot that one. And then there's one about Pee-wee. So it just falls. It's just falling apart at this point.
This is ridiculous.
Yes,
I don't even know why we're doing this podcast.
I quit.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.